Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. We're doing a Divine Masculine check-in. Let's see where we go. I just wanted to remind everyone I do take one-on-one clients for coaching, for readings, for all different things. You could check that out at KarenVitello.com. All right. Let's get into it. God, I feel like everything's a mess today. Not true, just my table. All right, Spirit, thank you for being with us. What do we need to know? What does Divine Masculine need to know for the highest and best good of self and the planet? What are they confronting right now? What are the blocks that are showing up, and what are the solutions to those blocks? All right, deep breaths, everyone. Clear the channel. Ground in self. Ground in this earth. What do Divine Masculines need to know? Okay, we have karmic completion, we have adventure, and we have music. Okay, anything else, Spirit? Anything else? So for me, the adventure that the masculines are going on right now is cleaning up karma, is closing the loops, closing loose ends that are showing up in their world right now. Yeah, and healing, the things. Okay, how do I say this? The thing about cleaning up karma is, like, I know we just say these things, right? We say these like phrases that continue to show up in the spiritual world, but really what it actually takes to confront those pieces of self that are stuck in a pattern, that continue to make the same choices in the same ways, that continue to keep you stuck, masculine. This requires such profound presence and deep awareness around that fork in the road of, like, okay, we can go right and continue doing the same thing that we've always done and get the same results that we've always gotten, or we could go left and really claim the unknown for ourselves, right? That requires so much healing to be able to call your spirit back from places it doesn't belong and to send your spirit to places it does belong, meaning the harder path. Oftentimes the harder path is the right path, right? Because the harder path is going to require something of us that we've never had to bring forward. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? No, I think that's it, actually. Let me see what's in the unconscious position. Yeah, we have rebirth in reverse in the unconscious. So it's a false shadow. So masculines, when I get a false shadow in this position, for me, it's a symbol that it's not your rebirth, your day 1 through day 100 after you close these karmic cycles. It's not going to look like what you think it's going to look like. It's not something you can expect. It's not something that you can prepare for. This is where you're going to have to lean on your internal feminine, because your internal feminine is the one that is comfortable surrendering to the mystery. Your internal feminine is the one that is comfortable being that level of vulnerable in the face of the unknown. And I really honor and understand how scary that can be, because we want to prepare, right? We want to know what's going on. We want to prepare for what's coming next. And you're being asked to enter your dark night, to enter, this next level of your hero's journey. Part of the karmic completion is coming back to the village after the hero's journey to surrender, to recover, to receive the love, to honor the rite of passage that you've just endured, and to really recover from that experience. Whew. Sorry, I could also feel a lot of pressure in my upper chest and my throat. So masculines, I completely understand how this is challenging for your heart, that these new impulses that you're being asked to follow, this new level of your intuition, is going to be challenging for you to not try to overanalyze and not try to lean into your cerebral, your brain, your brain's approach to figuring out safety and next steps. You're really going to have to lean into your heart space. And I know how uncomfortable that has been for the masculines in the past, but you're not who you were, masculines. You have a new level of healing. You are at a different point of the spiral. So you can view things and feel things in a new capacity. So trust in that. Trust in your new skills. Trust in the new gifts that you've achieved from this hero's journey. Okay, yeah, it's really hard to swallow and my throat is pretty dry. Okay, where do we go next, Spirit? Where do we go next? Okay, anything else? What would support the masculines right now in closing these loops? What would support the masculines in trusting and believing that they truly have healed different parts of their soul? What would support them in relying on their internal wisdom, their internal hearts, their intuition right now? Or what's blocking it? What do we need to know? Oops. We have competition, summon courage and self-confidence. You know, it's like masculines, you've never been here before. You've never been able to compete with this level of opponent. Does that make sense? You've never, I used to run track in high school. You know how you have different meets and they try to group people with similar skills and similar times in the certain heats, certain different competitions or whatever. Or even in wrestling, right? You're not going to have someone who weighs 350 pounds wrestling someone who weighs $105, right? Masculines, you're in this really cool place where you've now, up leveled. You are now at this, you've reached a certain benchmark where you could now compete on this new playing field. And so you're being asked to trust that you wouldn't be here if you weren't on equal footing as those around you or as the circumstances around you. That you're allowed to summon the courage and the confidence that this is real, that it's reliable, that you have reliable resources that you can pull on from time to time. Oh, you know what? Sorry, now they're showing me because of the way I asked the question, I said, yes, what do they need to know, but also what's blocking them from closing this karmic completion, masculines. This is for a different percentage of you. They're not giving me a percent or else I would give it to you, but for another group of you masculines, where in your life is competition blocking you from moving on? A very conventional masculine blockage is there's so much fire in a lot of masculines that they just want to be right? There's masculines that will fight to the death to be right. They might be dead and right, but they're willing to go that far, right? Or there's that quote, would you rather be right and alone or open and heart-centered and connected? Would you rather be right and alone here, masculine? So where in your life are you letting your ego and the competition get in the way, blocking love? Because really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't need another trophy to tell you about yourself, right? This is another call of spirit to call your spirit back from places it doesn't belong, right? You don't want to make false idols in your life. You don't want to pray or put these false idols on a pedestal over your own hearts. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Very clear message. Anything else? Anything else blocking? What would support them in completing karma? What are they taking accountability for? What would help them trust this level of healing? Anything else? Anything else from this deck? No, they're showing me, leadership is in the unconscious position in reverse, but we're not going to talk about that. I just had to name it. Okay, Spirit, what else is What else do we need to know? Okay. Oh my God, I feel like we get these cards all the time. We have heartfelt apology, seizing the day, and strong boundaries in reverse. Okay, heartfelt apology. What's in the unconscious? We have nourishment. Yeah, masculines, sorry, I'm just feeling this, and I'm feeling this massive exhaustion in my chest, like a weight on my shoulders pushing me down, but also a little bit of a broken heart. There's some deep, like the weight you've been carrying for God knows how long has broken you in some way. There's something about that. And maybe because, sorry, I'm just feeling this message. The tears are coming and I don't even know what it's about yet. And this is the power of energy, how the energy starts moving. You have to remember that the energy comes first always, right? When something finally shows up in 3D reality, that's the end of the journey. That's the end of the thing, right? Things start in 5D. Things start in the quantum field, in the universal intelligence, right? There's something always moving. So, okay, I do you hear me? It's just so heavy. Like I'm having a hard time lifting up my face to like open my mouth and talk right now. There's something here about masculines. If you owe a person, place, or a thing and a deep, deep apology, do not let your ego interrupt that process. Take advantage, carpe diem, seize the day, take advantage of your heart's deepest inspiration. I don't know what this, there's something deeply nourishing in this process of apologizing that is going to gift you. It's going to nourish you in some capacity. And I don't know what that is. They're not showing it to me, but then I'm so drawn to the strong boundaries in reverse. Let me get some more information about that. Can you say more about these boundaries, Spirit? Can you say more about these boundaries? Okay, thank you. We have Goddess Insight. Okay, here's one message. Masculines, if some of you have not been in touch with your feminines in a very, very long time, and I mean like real, not just like a text or a random email or something, if you have not been in deep conscious connection with your feminine in a very long time, you may have to turn inward and evaluate if your boundaries are too strong or have been too strong, or what is the reason you're setting the boundaries? Can you even remember? Is there something, do the reasons you set the boundaries still serve you? And this isn't just with your feminine. This is just a good rule for life. Like sometimes we're at a certain level of consciousness where we have really aggressively strong, sharp boundaries. It's like an electric fence around us that if anybody touches it, we will be electrocuted or they will be electrocuted and, don't come near me. And that serves you for a certain part of your journey, especially if you are in the throes of pain, of healing, of, grief, of heartbreak, of any of these denser emotions. However, when we move through that, when we become a different version of self, when we heal to a certain level, we no longer need all of the boundaries we needed to get us here. And so masculines, you're being called to evaluate whether or not these boundaries still are serving you. Okay, that was the setup of the message, right? That wasn't the message. That was the setup. The setup is now telling us and inviting you masculines to evaluate specifically your boundaries around your feminine, your external feminine, your internal feminine. When you cut yourself off, when you cut your chakra system, your heart chakra off from your feminine, you also cut off You also cut yourself off from your internal feminine, from your internal goddess. Your goddess is the one that holds the insight. Your goddess is quite literally the vessel, the portal to which all divine insight flows. So if you are cutting yourself off from your external feminine, you may have inadvertently cauterized that connection to your internal feminine. So you're being asked to reevaluate these boundaries. And it's fine if you evaluate them and you say, you know what, I'm not ready yet, or I'm too vulnerable right now, or, really take accountability for what's showing up on your side of the street regarding this relationship to your internal and external feminine. I just have to say this as a blanket statement. Masculines, feminines are open. Let me say this. Divine feminine energy is always open, ready, and willing to receive your truth and vulnerability. The feminine thrives on vulnerability because vulnerability is blossoming with truth all the time. I'm very drawn to these blossoms here. Your vulnerability is like all these little offshoots of blossoms. Vulnerability, sharing vulnerability with anyone who is an open-hearted vessel, who's a loving, compassionate, empathic vessel, always builds a bridge to connection. Now, this is important for you to use your discernment. You don't want to just go, vomiting your deepest, darkest truths to any Joe Schmo on the side of the street, right? Use your discernment. However, masculines, if you are so deeply attracted to your external feminine, if there is still a desire rooted in you, and you can't tell me that you don't know how to identify that. When there's a fire in your root for someone, in your heart, you absolutely 100% without a doubt know if you are still ignited by your external feminine. If there's any fraction of that, any fragment left over, any teeny tiny morsel of energy or curiosity or desire for your external feminine, you're meant to follow it. You're no longer meant to repress all of these feelings. What happens when we repress a bunch of energy? It gets pressurized and eventually has to go somewhere. Hold on, I'm losing my voice. Okay. It eventually has to go somewhere, right? It's like you're about to pop, masculines. So instead of using your precious life force to, hold even stronger boundaries, it might be time to let some of these go. It might be time to let some air out of the bubble. What's in the unconscious? It doesn't resonate for me. Okay, moving on. Whew. Okay, where else are we going, masculines? What else are you confronting? What's difficult right now? I keep staring at this heartfelt apology. A big part of masculines, a big part of what might be blocking your apology to an external feminine is your apology that you have yet to gift yourself to your internal parts that made choices in the past that gifted you with more karma. So much of the blockages that stand between us and our divine counterpart are our own blocks between our own internal parts. So do you have any outstanding issues with self? Do you have any outstanding apologies that you have to give yourself? Any outstanding forgiveness? Forgiveness is one of the hardest things on the planet. But when we realize that withholding forgiveness, what's that great line? I was going to come up with a new analogy, but then I remembered what's the great line, like staying angry at someone else is like drinking poison, but assuming they're going to die, or but thinking they'll die. No, it's like you're just, by withholding this forgiveness, by holding on to the pain or the painful memories or the heartbreak or the grief, you're keeping it alive for you, in you, and it's stealing your life force. It's like leaking. It's like someone has a hole in your boat, and you're just spending all that energy bailing out the water over and over again instead of plugging the leak. Okay, masculines, it might be time to forgive yourself for your actions, for your non-actions, for what you said, for what you did, for what you didn't say and do, for how you showed up in your feminine's life when you were at a lower level of consciousness, when you were deeply wounded. It's very, hurt people hurt people. You've heard that a million times, masculines, right? But what separates the wounded from the exalted is what you choose to do with that wound. What do you choose to do after you've healed? What are your next steps? Oops, sorry. Getting too excited over here. All right, next steps for masculines. What would support them in forgiving self, in trusting this new level of healing? Trusting this new frequency. That's okay. Okay, I'm so dense. The message is so obvious and I can't believe I didn't see it. Masculines, when you turn the wheel of your karma, when you step into this new level, this next adventure, this next hero's journey is going to be living life with a healed core frequency, with a healed heart, not being led by your wounds. Thank you, Spirit. Wow, that was like so obvious and I missed it in the beginning, but all in divine timing. Okay, we have confidence, we have career in reverse, and we have psychic abilities. Yeah, masculines, it makes sense to me that you're stepping deeper into your career, but these new levels of accomplishment or building or infrastructure, they're going to require a deep, deep confidence. Didn't we have another confidence card? Competition, summon your courage and confidence. That's where it was. Let me just move these aside here. Yeah, masculines, you are being called to work on your self-esteem. I'll put that right there. Sorry, I'm getting like much softer because one, I could feel the exhaustion of the collective masculine, that it's been so hard to keep plugging away, and it's, these masculines have shown up in rain, sleet, and storm, through it all. It's like continuing to chop wood and carry water despite the weather, continue to take a step in their career despite their lack of confidence. And there's a message here, masculines, that, you're worthy. My throat's going off. Wow. Okay, the clear message that's shutting down my throat chakra is that you're worthy enough to speak your truth. Even if that speaking your truth is to yourself. Like sometimes we push things so deep into the shadows that we're scared to even tell ourselves the truth, right? Because then once we know the truth, then we have to do something with it. And that takes a lot of courage and confidence to take a step towards accountability, responsibility, doing the hard work to overcome the insecurity, the fear, the blockage. Whew. Okay. Anything else? Oh, the other thing too, this has come up for about a year now, that the masculines, listen, masculines, the longer you push away your internal feminine and your internal feminine gifts, the longer you're going to push away your psychic abilities, right? Where is the, do I have that? Oh, here it is. Let me show this to you. Look at this. So what you're viewing, these three goddesses, it's known as the triple goddess, right? It shows the three stages of the moon, the new moon, the full moon, and the crescent moon. I think that's what it is. And so look at where these moons are placed. Moons are symbols of the mystery. When the moon comes out, it illuminates the darkness. And then we have psychic abilities here. And remember, it came out in reverse, masculine. So the longer you push away your internal feminine, the longer you're pushing away all of these amazing psychic abilities. Now, I don't know what those are for you. It's going to differ on a case-by-case thing, but on a very generic level, masculines, A psychic ability is having a pure, clean, and open channel to your intuition, which feeds directly into your wise discernment and ability to make wise discernments. So you're being asked to heal this internal feminine so you could gain access to these new abilities. And I laugh because it's not new, right? You're remembering your old abilities. Anything else? Yeah, we have talents, we have strength, and we have willpower. Yeah, I mean, this is going to take some diligence and some presence to really work on what's blocking. If you could see this woman here, she's quite literally, this figure is quite literally holding the planets in position. Now that takes a lot of presence, strength, and commitment to hold the world in one hand and the moon in the other. So what does that mean for me? The moon represents the feminine, the lunar cycles. The moon represents, again, the mystery, that which is hidden. The earth represents, Mother Gaia, deep grounding. So how can we have enough strength, courage, confidence, and willpower to ground in truth, even the truths that are lingering in the dark right now? That's your task, masculines, to have enough confidence, courage, and willpower to stand in the darkness and face like a new dawn, to taking another step in a grounded, rooted way to your deepest truth, without losing love, without losing all of the gifts. I just realized we have a random card in here. Oh, it's from a different deck. We have completion. I'm going to take it because why not? That's really interesting. Basically, masculines, and I don't think I'm going to go that much deeper because we continue to get the same message over and over again. Masculines, you are, I just realized we started with karmic completion in reverse, and now we have completion upright. You have come full circle on this karmic wheel. It's up to you. You're the only one that can literally turn the wheel. It's like, for those of you who grew up in the US, the game show, The Price is Right, and when they had to spin that huge wheel, that's what I think of when people talk about the karmic wheel. I think of that huge, huge wheel that people had to jump up really high and use all of their strength and weight to like yank it down, and then it would spin and it would be like boop, 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 You are in this place. Only you can use all of your efforts, all of your skills, all of your gifts and talents, masculines, to complete this lesson. It's up to you. It's up to you. And I understand how scary that can be because it is up to you, right? It's like, the good news is it's up to you. The bad news is it's up to you, right? We're in that duality. Okay. And I just happened to look in the unconscious. We have another healing card. I'm going to end it there, I think. Let's get actually a couple affirmation cards. You're doing it, masculines. You just have to keep doing it and keep doing it. Keep your head down, focused on your side of the street, what's showing up there, and the work you have to do. Keep your head down, and sooner or later, you will look up and you will have crossed the finish line. I'm cracking up. I mean, you can't make this up. It says, I embrace my healing abilities and my personal growth is unlimited. You are a divine being, and you already possess all of the tools necessary to heal your body and your mind innately. Others can assist you with this process, but ultimately the power is in your hands. Take the time to identify any emotional wounds and honor your healing process. Start from within. And then we have my growth is unlimited. Harness your power to develop your strength, masculines. There is no limit to your personal improvement. Take time to understand any areas in your life that require further growth. There is nothing standing in between turning your good into a great. In the unconscious position, I just happened to look down. It says, I deserve quality time with myself. Now, this is a self-esteem thing. Take time, masculines, for yourself in silent, contemplative reflection to positively improve your mindset. Rest and enjoy your own company and the quiet of your mind. Spending time with yourself allows you to attune to your personal needs and desires. Beautiful masculines. I'm going to leave it there. I hope this was supportive, and I will see you in the next one.